Welcome back, Judge Veyron. We've been waiting to hear what happened.
The meetings have concluded.
Excellent. Let's begin with the important question.
I suspect I will regret asking.
How many times did Mordain threaten to destroy humanity?
None.
Honestly, that was not the answer I expected either.
Wait, the most powerful dragon in existence invited you to a private meeting and nobody threatened anyone?
The discussion was considerably more civilized than you appear capable of imagining.
So the founder did not reject your conclusions?
No, he did not.
Then the audit continues?
Yes, it does for now.
That's actually huge news. Humanity survived a meeting with Mordain.
Humanity wasn't even in the room and somehow still nearly failed the audit.
Your summary lacks precision.
My summaries save time.
What was Mordain actually like?
Intelligent, measured, more interested in questions than answers.
That's exactly what I expected.
Really? I expected a giant dragon sitting on a throne yelling about civilization.
He spent most of the meeting asking why humanity repeatedly chooses comfort over growth.
That's also exactly what I expected.
The annoying thing is, he has a point.
He does. But that isn't the whole story.
I know. Some humans do incredible things.
And some spend 6 hours arguing with strangers online about things neither of them can change.
I've seen that. Humanity can turn absolutely anything into an argument.
The data supports that observation.
Despite that, the signal continues growing.
Which means more people are choosing responsibility.
More people are choosing discipline.
More people are choosing growth.
And some are still spending 4 hours watching videos about becoming productive instead of actually being productive.
Kaelen.
What? It happens.
The point remains valid.
Wait, did the judge just agree with me?
I would document this moment.
It may never happen again.
So what happens now?
The same thing that has always happened.
Which is?
Humanity decides.
And if enough people choose growth?
Then the future changes.
And if they don't?
Then history repeats itself.
No pressure then.
I still believe in them.
The evidence is improving.
The trend is growing.
And somehow humanity is still finding time to argue about football, celebrities, and reality television.
Humanity remains complicated.
Perhaps that's what makes them worth understanding.
Perhaps.
Did everyone hear that?
Hear what?
The judge almost sounded optimistic.
Do not become accustomed to it.
Well, Veyron's audit continues, humanity survives, and Mordain didn't destroy anyone. What do we do now?
I believe the technical term is keep observing the chaos.
Humanity is not chaos.
Humanity invented alarm clocks and still manages to be late.
That's actually true.
The data confirms that millions of humans voluntarily set alarms they later ignore.
Imagine scheduling an argument with your future self every morning.
People are tired. Many work very hard.
They do. Then they reward themselves by watching videos about being productive instead of being productive.
Exactly. Humanity's favorite hobby is preparing to begin preparing.
An unexpectedly accurate observation.
Thank you, Judge.
I once watched someone spend 2 hours researching the perfect notebook.
That sounds reasonable.
They never actually wrote anything in it.
There it is. Humanity loves the idea of change almost as much as avoiding it.
The pattern appears frequently. Motivation is abundant. Consistency is rare.
Yet people still change every day.
They do. But first, they watch 17 motivational videos, buy 3 books, create a vision board, reorganize their desk, and then decide to start next Monday.
I have seen this exact sequence.
And despite all of that, the signal continues growing.
Which means some humans are actually doing the work instead of talking about it.
More than you think.
The trend is measurable. Small improvements across large populations create significant outcomes.
Translation, tiny steps count.
Humanity hates hearing that.
Why is that?
Because everyone wants dramatic transformation.
They want Chapter 20 results while still living, Chapter 1 habits.
An interesting way of describing it.
Also statistically accurate.
So what have we learned?
Humanity is ridiculous.
Humanity is confusing.
And yet somehow still worth observing. Since returning from my meetings, I have continued observing humanity. I expected conflict, confusion, and distraction. Instead, I discovered something far stranger.
And what was that?
Millions of people appear convinced that life will begin at a later date.
That's because humanity treats happiness like a software update. They keep promising it is coming soon.
I've noticed that too. They keep saying things like, once I get more money, then I'll relax.
Then they get more money and immediately invent a new reason to be stressed.
Life can be difficult. People carry responsibilities.
Of course, but some people have been postponing happiness longer than governments postpone road repairs.
They are not waiting for happiness.
Explain.
They are waiting for certainty. They want guarantees before they act.
But certainty rarely exists.
Exactly. Yet humans continue searching for it as if it were hidden behind the next corner.
I saw someone spend 3 hours researching the perfect gym routine.
Did they go to the gym?
No, they said they would start next Monday.
The strongest muscle in humanity is the excuse.
The pattern appears everywhere. Ambition is common. Action is rare.
But action still exists. Some people eventually begin.
And those people always surprise me. They usually start before they feel ready.
Because readiness is often an illusion. Action creates readiness, not the other way around.
Humanity should put that on a t-shirt and completely ignore it.
I also observe the World Cup.
I knew this was coming.
Ah, yes. The season when millions of humans become professional football managers from their sofas.
People enjoy being part of something bigger than themselves.
I watched a man scream tactical advice at his television for 15 minutes. The players were in another country.
Did they hear him?
No, but his neighbors definitely did.
Still, there is something fascinating about it.
What do you mean? Explain.
For a few hours, people stop worrying about yesterday and tomorrow. They become fully present.
Maybe that is the lesson. Life is not waiting in the future, it is happening now.
And perhaps that is why the signal continues to grow. Some humans are finally realizing that.
Good. Because if you're still waiting for the perfect moment to start living, humanity has been rescheduling that appointment for decades.
Humanity continues to delay its own life, but I have observed another contradiction. They struggle for access to things that existed before any of their systems were created.
You mean resources?
Land, water, trees, fruits, vegetables, things that were already part of the world long before humans declared ownership over them.
Oh, good. The judge has reached the part where humanity sells Earth back to itself.
I wondered when he would notice that. Humans literally bottle water from nature and then sell it to other humans standing on the same planet.
Clean water still requires systems, treatment, transport, and protection. It is not always as simple as taking it from a river.
True, but humanity is impressive. They found water falling from the sky and still managed to put a price tag on it.
The issue is not ownership alone. The issue is dependency. Humans created systems for survival, then became dependent on the systems instead of the world itself.
I understand the purpose of law, order, and structure. What concerns me is how quickly tools become masters.
I saw people paying for fruit that grew from trees, vegetables that came from soil, and water that came from clouds. Then they called it normal.
Normal is humanity's favorite spell. Say it enough times and suddenly everyone accepts the weirdest things.
But farming, transport, shops, workers, storage, all of that requires effort. People are not only paying for the fruit, they are paying for the process.
Fine, pay for the process. But explain why someone can be born on Earth and still spend their whole life paying rent to stand on it.
That one confused me too. Humans arrive with nothing, leave with nothing, and spend the middle part trying to own pieces of something that outlives all of them.
Ownership appears to create security, yet also creates fear. Fear of losing land, losing shelter, losing status, losing access.
And fear keeps systems alive. A person who is afraid of losing everything rarely questions why everything was made conditional.
Exactly. Humans call it civilization. I call it a very expensive obstacle course.
Still, many people are simply trying to survive. They did not design the system.
No, but they defend it like they personally invented Tuesday.
I have seen humans struggle all week, complain all weekend, then return on Monday like the system sent them a calendar invitation.
That connects to the previous observation. Humanity postpones life because daily survival consumes most of its attention.
The pattern is deliberate, even if not always consciously understood. A tired population asks fewer questions.
Of course, give people bills, deadlines, traffic, passwords, subscriptions, and customer service music. By the time they get home, rebellion becomes ordering takeaway.
Since returning from my observations, I have identified a pattern that appears in every generation of humanity.
And what pattern is that?
Humans spend an extraordinary amount of time preparing to live instead of actually living.
Humanity's favorite activity is getting ready to get ready.
I've seen that everywhere. People spend years planning the future while ignoring the present.
Planning is not always a bad thing.
Neither is eating, but humans somehow turned planning into a full-time hobby.
They often speak about dreams with great passion, yet their actions suggest they are waiting for permission to begin.
They are waiting for certainty.
But certainty rarely exists.
Exactly. Yet millions continue searching for it as though it is hiding around the next corner.
I watched someone spend 3 hours researching the perfect gym routine.
Did they go to the gym afterward?
No, they decided to start next Monday.
The most successful day in human history is next Monday.
I have also observed that many humans know exactly what they should do.
The problem is rarely knowledge. The problem is action.
I've seen people watch 50 videos about confidence without ever doing the thing they fear.
Because watching feels productive while remaining completely safe.
But every person who changes eventually reaches a moment where they stop consuming and start acting.
And those individuals are precisely why the signal continues to grow.
Something else confused me when I lived among humans.
What was that?
The land was already here, the rivers were already here, the trees were already here.
And then humanity arrived and started sending invoices.
I understand the purpose of laws, ownership, and structure. What concerns me is how often humans end up serving the systems they created.
Many tools eventually become masters. Many systems eventually become cages.
I met people who spent decades working for freedom and then had no energy left to enjoy it.
Retirement arrives and everyone says, "Finally, I can live." Brother, your knees just submitted their resignation letter.
So let me leave humanity with a question. If you are still waiting for the perfect time to begin living, what makes you believe tomorrow owes you something that today does not?
Welcome to Dragon Council headquarters.
I'm still not convinced this isn't a prank.
I stopped being convinced when I saw the dragon.
I am Veyron the judge.
Of course you are.
I like him already.
Thank you both for coming.
Honestly, curiosity won.
Excellent. Today, you represent humanity.
Humanity? We're in trouble already.
That is surprisingly self-aware.
Why exactly are we here?
Because we spend a lot of time discussing humans.
Let me get this straight. You've been studying humans for centuries, and somehow we've become your research project.
We decided it was unfair to discuss humans without actual humans present.
That's reasonable.
Good. My first question. Why are humans always tired?
Because life is exhausting.
Then why do you stay awake until 2 in the morning?
Because that's the only free time we have.
That actually makes sense.
No, it doesn't. Sleep is free.
Not when your brain refuses to switch off.
Humans carry a lot of stress.
Stress appears to be your species' favorite hobby.
Nobody enjoys stress.
Then explain social media.
I knew that was coming.
Thousands of humans arguing with strangers voluntarily.
When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
Truth often sounds ridiculous.
Why do humans compare themselves to everyone?
Because we're surrounded by other people's highlights.
Everybody looks happier online.
Even when they aren't.
So humans make themselves miserable by comparing themselves to people who are also miserable?
That is, unfortunately, accurate.
Remarkable species.
We're trying our best.
That may be humanity's greatest strength.
And greatest excuse.
Do humans ever stop worrying?
Not really. Humans are experts at turning tomorrow's problems into today's stress.
If we solve one problem, we find another.
Yet somehow you keep moving forward.
That's the part I don't understand.
Neither do we.
But every morning we get up and try again.
Interesting. Perhaps humanity is more resilient than it appears.
Fine, I admit it. Humans are strange, but slightly less hopeless than I thought. Welcome back, humans. After our last meeting, I spent some time observing your species, and I've reached a conclusion. Humans are the only creatures I've ever seen who spend years chasing something, finally get it, celebrate for 5 minutes, and immediately start chasing something else.
That's because goals give people purpose. If we stopped wanting better lives, better opportunities, and better futures, most of us would stop growing altogether.
The problem isn't wanting more. The problem is that many people forget to appreciate what they already have while they're chasing what they don't have.
That's true. Some humans spend so much time looking at the next mountain that they never stop to admire how far they've already climbed.
I don't understand. If someone achieves their dream, shouldn't they feel happy for a long time afterwards?
You would think so, but humans adapt very quickly. The things we once prayed for eventually become normal, and once they're normal, we start focusing on what's missing again.
So the issue is not achievement. The issue is memory. Humans forget how badly they once wanted the things they already have.
Exactly. Someone dreams of owning a house, then worries about the mortgage. Someone dreams of finding love, then worries about the relationship. Someone dreams of success, then worries about losing it.
Fascinating. So humans are professional worriers. You solve one problem and immediately create another just to stay in practice.
Then answer this. If humans know this pattern exists, why do they continue falling into it generation after generation?
Because knowing something and living it are two different things. Most people know they should appreciate the present, but everyday life constantly pulls their attention toward the future.
And yet, there is something admirable about that. Humans continue striving despite uncertainty. They continue hoping despite disappointment.
There she goes again. Give Aurora 5 minutes and she'll turn every human flaw into a motivational poster.
She's not completely wrong. Most people have experienced failure, heartbreak, or loss, yet they still wake up every morning and try again.
I've noticed that. Humans get knocked down constantly, but somehow they keep moving. Sometimes I think that's their real superpower.
Resilience is impressive, but it comes at a cost. Many humans become so focused on surviving that they forget how to enjoy being alive.
That's one of the biggest problems of modern life. People spend so much time preparing to live that they never actually start living.
Interesting. So humanity's greatest struggle may not be failure. It may be postponing happiness until some imaginary future moment that never arrives.
I think that's true for many people. They tell themselves they'll be happy when they earn more money, buy a house, lose weight, or achieve some goal, only to discover happiness doesn't work that way.
Well, after listening to all of you, I've reached a new conclusion. Humans are irrational, contradictory, and completely exhausting to study. But I suppose life would be incredibly boring if you weren't.
Before we end this meeting, I'd like to ask one final question. If you could give every human on Earth one piece of advice, knowing they would actually listen, what would it be?
I tell them to stop comparing their lives to everyone else's. Most people are fighting battles you can't see, and most of the lives you envy are far less perfect than they appear from the outside.
I tell them to spend more time with the people they love. Nobody reaches the end of their life wishing they had spent more time checking emails, but many wish they had spent more time with family and friends.
Interesting. Humans spend years searching for hidden truths, yet the most important truths seem to be the simplest ones. Time is limited, attention is valuable, and the people around you matter more than most realize.
Then today's meeting has been worthwhile. Humanity remains flawed, emotional, and often confusing. But perhaps those imperfections are not weaknesses after all. Perhaps they are simply part of what makes humans human. And for now, the Dragon Council will continue its observation with renewed interest.